Producers, listen up. Are you looking for a new plugin to spice up your loops or instruments? Are you tired of using the same effects that other producers use? Well, today I want to introduce you to a brand new plugin. It's called Haze by Lunacy Audio and is 100% free. So, is it worth the hard drive space to download it, or should you just go ahead and skip it? Let's find out together. You ready? Let's get into it. So let's do a quick overview of the different sections of this plugin. First, we have the decay section here. Decay, this actually controls the reverb tail. We have density here. This controls texture, so we can go from sparse to thick and rich. Then we have spread here, which controls the stereo width of the reverb. Now moving on to the next section, we have motion. We have scale here. Scale actually changes the tone. We also have motion here, of course. This actually changes the modulation and delay. And above these two knobs here for motion and scale, you can see these smaller knobs here, these smaller little buttons here. This one is glide. So you can change the glide of the scale, and then over here with motion we have depth, so you can actually change the depth of the motion that's occurring. So you just kind of want to experiment with these two as you're messing around with the plugin. Next we have smear, and smear is actually a filter, so you can use smear to filter the sound. You can use frequency to change the frequency of the filter, and then of course we have Q here, which is going to change the resonance, so you can play around with that. Then also of course we have the infamous mix knob, so if we don't want everything to be 100% wet with the effect, we can of course use this to kind of kiss it with some effects, or if we wanted to go all the way, we could just turn it all the way up to 100. And of course we have this really nice graphic here that we can see whenever we're messing around with the plugin, and that's always nice as we're cooking up and making beats. Have a nice looking visual, and it's not affecting the CPU too much, so we can go ahead and, you know, leave that on as we cook up our beats. Now let's get into the moment that you've all been waiting for. How does this plugin actually sound? So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play my loop dry here, and if you like the loop, make sure you go to DesmondASounds.com to get this loop and use it for your next beat. We're gonna play the loop, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut on the plugin, and then we're gonna listen to what it sounds like wet, and I'm gonna start to mess around with the effect. So let's listen to the loop dry, and then we're gonna turn on the Haze plugin. Overall, I think this was a pretty cool plugin. I think the effects can get really, really dramatic really quickly. So if you're going through the different presets, you might notice things change really drastically. So just kind of make sure that you play around with the different knobs and parameters to get things sounding the way that you want them to sound. I just settled for this simple chorus and just added a little bit of tweaking so things still kind of flowed and felt natural and soft, and kind of complemented the sound of the loop that I already had there. But if you're a person who likes to experiment with sound design and get really quirky, or if you're an engineer, you want to do really cool vocal effects and maybe even print this on the vocal of the recording artist, hey, I think this is a good plugin to actually experiment with. So, you know, you can get really things that are off the beaten path with this plugin that I'm actually noticing as I messed around with it. So I say go ahead and give it a try. Just check out the link in the description or in the pinned comment. This is not a sponsored video, just me just giving out my free opinion. So give it a try. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about this? Haze by Lunacy Audio. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit like and subscribe. My name is Desmond A, and I'll be back with more great videos. Peace.
Desmond A.